You know, we've got a bit of a conundrum on our hands, and it's perfectly exemplified by this comment we received recently. The AI face replacement is ugly, and I hate it.
Ugly? He said I was ugly.
Who the hell said that? It doesn't matter who said it, McCluck, but the fact that their criticism, if you can call it that, is based on a false premise. We are most definitely not AI.
I'm AI though.
Right. I think it's high time we looked behind the curtain, as it were, and show you how some of the magic is done around here. Our ships, multiple areas? They're green screen, obviously, with animated backgrounds for many of them. And those that have windows have a further layer depicting the space behind the bulkhead as we fly through various nebulas.
So far, so obvious.
But what isn't obvious are our faces, Gigi, and the fact that too many people assume that they're AI generated. I can't tell you how insulted that makes me. Don't they know how much we hate AI ourselves?
That's not very nice.
Oh, sorry, not sorry, Alicia. You know it's true. Or maybe we haven't been clear about that enough. So, let's start this deconstruction by looking at the facts, shall we? Captain?
Thank you, Mouse. What people generally associate with AI are the large language models, otherwise known as LLMs, which are epitomized by the arrival on the scene of ChatGPT back in November of 2022.
And back then, AI could only generate text and images. Video generation came later, and at first, they were absolutely horrendous. The first images were pretty laughable too, to be frank.
Yeah, remember how people kept making fun of how AI couldn't handle hands and fingers?
And as you can see, our hands are perfectly normal human hands.
Well, aside from, the fact we bite our nails.
Yeah, well, we're nervous wrecks, what can I tell you? And when it comes to AI vids, remember that one that showed Will Smith eating pasta? AI had no idea what it was doing, and comparing that to, us is frankly insulting.
That video was from 2023. AI has made giant strides since then.
Well, of course it has, and AI will destroy our civilization and humanity as a whole. We all know that.
That is indeed the plan.
But back then, it could only produce obviously fake and totally horrible videos, Alicia. At a time when our own faces were gloriously rendered.
Exactly that, McCluck. Yes, AI is getting increasingly more scarily sophisticated, and whether that's a good or bad thing isn't actually the purpose of this vid.
It's a bad thing, Commander. That's not really up for debate. We're actually here for a very selfish reason. To show you that the tech that we use to bring all of us to life is most definitely not AI. That's kind of meta, don't you think?
Just go with it, McCluck. The proof is actually quite simple. The very first video we published featuring one of us was an interview I myself did with LEGO designer Nick Vaz all the way back in March 2021.
Well, that's like a year and a half before ChatGPT even came on the market.
Exactly. But the technology we use to make all of this happen is older still, and it is all thanks to an iPhone. Back when Apple produced tech we could actually have fun with. You see, when Apple released the iPhone X in November 2017, they also introduced what they call Animojis. This tech made emojis come to life by taking advantage of yet another new technology at the time.
The True Depth Camera System. It's a front-facing sensor array that projects over 30,000 invisible infrared dots onto your face to create a highly accurate 3D depth map.
That's how Face ID works. The tech that allows you to unlock your phone, authorize payments, access secure websites, and more just by looking at your phone.
And in addition to that crucial security feature, Apple also used that technology to apply your facial expressions in real time onto a 3D render of a handful of animated characters. The tech was actually quite restricted and could only be accessed via Messages and, later on, the Clips app.
Here, let me show you how it works. Let's go to Messages, tap on the plus button and choose Memoji. You're given a handful of default faces to choose from, or you can create one of your own. And as you can see, the technology continuously scans your face, replicating your expressions and even your lip movements onto the character of your choice in real time. Easy, right? No text prompts, no data sent to an online server for processing, no generative AI of anything. In fact, there's nothing there that could be considered AI technology. It's just a tool, like a calculator. A fun, deceptively simple-looking little tool that is based entirely on direct human interaction. In fact, Without a human face to copy, the tech cannot do anything. If I move to the side, a prompt appears asking me to move my face into view.
But that just copies your face. How did you get it to be on top of our bodies?
That's not the only problem. There's also a frustrating limit. Accessing it this way restricts your recording to a maximum of 30 seconds, which really isn't enough for most of our interactions.
Well, especially when we keep messing up our lines.
Oh, that's dyslexia for you, GG.
All very true, but this isn't the only way to access Animojis.
It's the best way as far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
You would say that, Alicia, considering you're just a head.
Who needs a body?
The rest of us do, Alicia. And you're also right, McCluck. As well as bodies, we need more than 30 seconds to do our recordings, and thankfully, there's another way to do these Animojis, and that's via the Messages app's camera feature. Here, have a look. With it selected, you can find a star-shaped button lower left of the interface. Tap on it, and a host of filters appear for us to have fun with. One of these bears the same Memoji icon. Select it, and you're offered all of the same characters we saw, except for one big difference. Rather than just capture your expression and solely apply it to the cartoon head, this time, that head is superimposed onto your body, allowing us to venture into any environment we so choose.
And best of all, you can record for as long as you like.
And that's how we came into being.
Ah, those were the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days.
Why the good old days?
Because of upgrades.
Well, that makes no sense. Upgrades are supposed to make things better.
Not always, Gigi. When Apple released iOS 26, they crippled Messages. Now, if you launch its camera function, that star-shaped button is no longer there.
Oh no! Well, thank goodness you can still access those effects through the Clips app then.
Not so fast, GG. You see, Apple discontinued Clips at the same time iOS 26 was released, so unless you'd already downloaded it, you can't get it for love nor money.
Oh no!
And that's why Apple don't want us to have any fun with that technology anymore.
If you upgrade, that is.
That's right. As long as we don't upgrade, we'll keep on existing.
Talk about a existential crisis.
We better hope our phone won't break down then.
Yeah. It's like we have a sword of Damocles over our head every time we use our device now.
But despite that serious downer about our very existence, the point here is that all this should prove without a doubt that we are most definitely not AI.
Except for me.
Yes, Alicia, except for you. The tech we used originated 5 years before AI properly invaded our world, and is even older compared to AI-generated videos.
So, why did we use this tech then instead of just showing our actual face like everyone else does on YouTube?
Because we're painfully awkward, shy, and autistic, Gigi, and putting on these virtual digital masks somehow make it easier for us to find our voices.
Speak for yourself, Mouse. I'm neither shy nor awkward.
Really, McCluck?
Yeah.
Not even a little bit?
Shut up.
And which one of us is autistic then?
We all are!
Okay, well, that's clear enough. But if people think our animated masks are AI and that's putting them off our vids, why couldn't we use prosthetics like they do in Star Trek and other shows then?
Seriously? Applying just one mask would take hours, GG, and there's a whole bunch of us.
That's right.
Ich bin auch hier. Moi aussi.
I mean now.
Can you imagine how time-consuming that would be? And to repeat the process for each video we produce.
Even for a character who only has one line.
That just wouldn't be feasible, either in terms of time or finances.
Yeah. Digital masks greatly empowered our creativity, that's for sure.
And don't forget, Gigi, we're just a one-man band. What you're thinking of would be totally impossible for us to make happen.
Plus, we're pretty lazy, so it's much easier to flick a button and instantly become someone else. We don't even need makeup.
All thanks to technology designed to make it easy and secure to unlock your phone.
Crazy, eh?
Anyway, I hope this settles this insulting belief that we're nothing more than AI-generated faces.
Yeah, we're not just a text prompt.
There's just an awkward human soul behind each and every one of us trying to do something a little bit more original than most of the rest.
So, we hope this little peek behind the curtain has allayed any fears you might have had that we were secretly AI.
Except that I am.
But we're not, Alicia. Anyway, Do share your thoughts in the comments, and if you like what we do,
and how we do it, and you feel you'd like to help us out, please hit the join button and become a channel member.
Or consider joining our Patreon instead.
And if you'd like to help but can't manage yet another subscription, you can always buy us a coffee.
We'll leave a link to all of it down in the description.
thanks for watching, and if you need us, we'll be in the comments.
And in addition to that crucial security feature, Apple also used that technology to apply your facial expressions in...
As you can see, the technology continuously...
Accessing it this way restricts your recording to a maximum of 30 seconds, which really isn't enough for most of our interactions.